How many of you were here a few years ago when Clare Murphy made her first appearance as an international new voice? Yeah. Aren't you excited that she's back? And if this is your first time, we are in for a treat. Clare has allowed us into her very busy schedule of telling, teaching, and activism all around the world. Her storytelling has an understanding of its lineage and its heritage, but it manifests itself with a contemporary zeal and vigor and vibrancy that is consistently in pursuit of the highest level of excellency. Won't you help me welcome to the stage Clare Murphy?
Hello. How are you? Good. This magic dancer is Joyce. Could we give her a round of applause, please? Delighted to be invited back. Thank you for having me. I'd like to speak for just a moment as you get used to my voice. I'm not speaking too quickly for you. So I've just told some Irish stories. I'd like to tell you another Irish story and then maybe take you somewhere else in the world. A long, long time ago in my family, my great-uncle Tommy was wandering around Cork as he was prone to do. Now, Tommy was a bit of a messer. He liked to get in trouble, I suppose. He liked going to parties. And one night he heard there was going to be a really big party over in Mahony's house, which was across a few fields. And he didn't really have permission to go. But he didn't exactly ask. So, you know, better to ask forgiveness than permission. So this one night anyway, Tommy, he snuck out of the house. And he went around by the back wall and he made his way down the little alleyway between his house and the next house, and he was making his way towards the field. And as he got to the end of the wall and he could see the rolling black of the field, out there was a light. And it was the light in Mahony's house. And even from here, it looked like a good party. So he started to wander his way through the long grass, the wet long grass, to make his way over. And as he got closer, he could hear the music. He's like, oh, bet there's dancing. Climbed over the stile, got into the next field, got closer. The light grew brighter, the sound. Pass that over here, what are you doing? Started to sound like a really good party. Couldn't wait. He got over the last fence and right up outside the house, and the light was just pouring out of it, and the sound was making the house shake. It's going to be an all-nighter, he thought to himself. And a moment later, the door was opened, and the light that should have streamed out was blocked by this huge man, Mr. Mahony. Oh, Tommy, what do you want? I heard there's a party here tonight. Yeah? So? Well, who doesn't like a party? So I just thought I'd come and see. So, Tommy, do you sing? Do I sing? No, I don't sing. No. Oh, says Mr. Mahoney, right. Do you tell jokes? You know, like them funny Americans. The Leps and all them, you know. Are you funny like the Leps? No, I don't tell any jokes either. So tell me this, Tommy. Do you know any stories? And as the train approached, Tommy was frantically searching his brain. Train stories, any stories. I don't know any stories. It's too bad, Tommy. What good are you at a party if you can't sing, you don't know any jokes, and you don't know any stories? And he just closed the door on him. And Tommy was left there on the cold step. So he turned and he walked back through the dark. He walked back away from the sound of the heaving party, back towards his own house. He went down the little alleyway, and as he was going down the alleyway, he heard a little voice. Oh, Tommy, you failed there, didn't you? You failed to get into the party. And my great uncle Tommy looked around, and he couldn't see anyone. And the voice came again. Oh, Tommy, if only you'd had something to say. And he looked up, and Tommy saw sat on the wall was this very small man. And he said, Tommy, I have heard about a party. It's been 300 years in the making. Would you like to go to a party? Tommy said, yeah, let's do it. And so the wee man, he put his hand into his pocket, and he pulled out a handful of dust, and as the dust began to fall on Tommy's hair and shoulders, he began to shrink until he was the same size as the wee man. And the wee man jumped off the wall, and he grabbed Tommy by the scruff of the neck, and he said, come on, Tommy, we're going far. And he shot straight up into the sky. And as they were going up through the sky and the wind was ripping at their faces, the wee man said, just don't look down, Tommy, you'll be grand. You know what it's like? Someone tells you what not to do. So Tommy's being dragged through the air, and he looked down, and the world was tiny. And they were going so very high. And then the wee man said, there's the house, and he shot straight down. It's just amazing, isn't it? And then the roof of the cottage got bigger and bigger and bigger, and then they landed on the soft thatch, the two of them. And the wee man said, oh, this is the moment, Tommy, I've been waiting for. And he parted the thatch, and the two of them looked down, and they were light enough that they wouldn't fall through it. And down below was a real party. There were men and women, and they were hanging out together, and they were dancing, drinking, and joking. Sat in the middle of the party was a very beautiful woman dressed all in white, and she was trying to look at everybody and enjoy herself, and of course she was the bride, and her husband was out there chatting and dancing, and the wee man on the roof, oh, here we are, 300 years, Tommy. And he reached into his pocket, pulled out some more dust. It fell down through the hole in the thatch and all the way down through the air, and it landed right on the beautiful young woman's lip. And she Achoo! And everyone at the party was really busy. You know, they were dancing, they were singing, they were talking, they were impressing each other with jokes. And nobody said, what would you say if someone sneezed? Bless you, or God bless you in those days, maybe. And the wee man said, that's one. Achoo! And no one was as polite as you. All of them were busy drinking and dancing and singing and joking and laughing, and nobody was looking at the bride, and the wee man said, "That's two." And Tommy said, I don't understand. That's one, that's two. What are you talking about? "Oh, Tommy, see that woman down there? Isn't she beautiful? In the long white dress. Every 300 years I get a chance. I get a chance. If I can do this 3 times, she's mine. I get to keep her for myself. And no one said it yet. 3rd time's a charm, Tommy." And as the bride began the 3rd sneeze, Tommy was thinking, this poor woman never done anything to anyone. She's here on her wedding day. And this wee man just going to take her. Shoo! And Tommy shouted with all of his heart and all of his soul. He said, "Bless you!" And the wee man, "Tommy, you betrayed me. 300 years I've had to wait. And 300 more I'll have to wait. Because of you." And he reached into his other pocket. And as he spat the dust and it landed on Tommy's head and on his shoulders, he began to grow back up to his full human size. 14 years old, far too big to be sat on the thread of the thatch. He tumbled right through it and he crash landed in the middle of the wedding table. And the cake went, and the drinks went, and the plates went, and everybody turned. And there was Tommy, covered in food. And everyone said, "What's the meaning of this? Who are you? Where did you come from? What's going on?" And Tommy got up and, I was trying to get into Mahoney's party. And I was on my way home because they turned me around, and then I met a wee man and he told the whole story as I've told it to you. And when he got to the bit about the bride, about nobody saying anything, everyone ignoring her, everyone at the party started to look very sheepish. "Well, I didn't hear her. No, I didn't hear her either." And they realized when Tommy finished his story that he had saved not just her life, but the party itself. They raised a glass to him. I said, "Tommy, you are welcome here any day." And every party thereafter, my great uncle Tommy always had a story to tell. I'd like to go somewhere else entirely. And I might need some help at some point during this story. And I'd be very curious if the people watching over there might do it as well. So only if you feel like doing it, but you might need your hands and using your body as a drum. Yeah? So you weren't to know. I didn't tell you in advance. A long, 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 long time ago, at the beginning of the world. It was so early in the days of the world, there wasn't really much color. You couldn't tell the difference between the sea and the sky. There wasn't any music. You know, when the wind blows through the trees or through the wheat, there was no music in that. The very beginning of the world, but there were people at the very start. and there was a king. There's always been kings. Now, this king was getting pretty old. And he was getting excited because he was going to be the first person ever to die. Huh? I know, it's pretty exciting. So he gathered everybody to him and he said, my people, you're king. I'm going to die soon. So my sons, come here. And his 3 sons came forward. He said, one of you needs to come up with a plan for my funeral. What do you think? First son, oldest son. I don't know how many of you are the oldest in your family. Most important son. Step forward. Father, your oldest and your wisest son. Do you know what I would do? I would wrap your body in the finest silks. I would carry it to the top of the tallest tree where you could look out over the world forever. And the king said, that's no good, I'm afraid of heights. Because he had no idea what happened when you died. And so the second son came forward. Father, I'm your second son, but far your strongest son. You know what I would do? I would cut down the greatest tree. I would make it into the finest boat, and we would put your body in the boat. It would sail all the seas of the world forever. King said, no, I get seasick. That only left a third son, the little prince, and he came forward and he said, hiya, Dad. What would I do with your body? I don't know. Well, you know what we could do? Do you know what we could do? Yeah. We could find the mysterious elephant drum. You know the elephant drum, no one's ever seen it, but we've heard the stories. We could bury you in the elephant drum. And the king said, amazing, genius, just the man for the job. Oh, yeah, right, yeah, because if it's your idea, you have to take responsibility for it. So, yeah, I'll just go and find the mysterious elephant drum that nobody's ever seen. Ever. By myself. Great. He didn't even know what an elephant looked like. So he went to the wisest person he knew in all of the land. His mother. And she explained to him what an elephant looked like. With this knowledge and some water in a skin and some food in a bag, he set out. The sun was beating down. And he was just walking the long road, hoping to see an elephant, hoping to find the elephant drum. And he walked for a while, and then there was a dog, a skinny dog in the middle of the road. And he said, oh, a dog, a friend, dog, listen, do you know where the elephant drum is? And the dog said, oh, I don't speak dog. It's always important to have a second language, you know. He said, oh, listen, I'm sorry, you can't help me. All right, here, have some of my food. And he shared his food with the dog. And the dog went away happy. He walked a while longer, and in the middle of the road, there was this fat, dried out toad. And he said, oh, toad, listen, any chance you know where the elephant drum is? And the toad said, ribbit. He said, oh, you don't speak human, I don't speak toad, this is not going to work. You look thirsty, though. So took the water skin and the toad just drank it up through his skin and leapt away. Prince was starting to give up. He was walking along. It was hot. He was sweating. And there, by the side of the road, was this gnarled up old man curled around a stick. And the prince said, excuse me, old man, do you know where the elephant drum is? Can you help me? And the old man, I can and I will, for I am Maurizio, the greatest of all the wizards in Africa, and you have helped me twice today. And the boy, being honest, he said, no, never seen you before. Maurizio said, I was a dog, I was a toad. Boy said, that is impressive. You are looking for the elephant drum. Walk towards the setting sun until you see a single tree. Climb the tree. When you get to the top, the elephants will come over the hill and they will sleep one by one. Wait until you are certain they are asleep. Climb down, find the second largest. Under his trunk, you will find the elephant drum. Put it on your shoulder and run. Boy said, I will, thank you. And he was going to go, and the old man said, "Ats!" What if the elephants wake up? What will you do? I don't know. What will I do? Maurizio said, you will take 4 stones, put them in your pocket. If they come for you, throw one over your shoulder and shout, Maurizio is greater than all the elephants. I will help you. Are you ready? Can you shout that? Maurizio is greater than all the elephants. The boy took the knowledge, he took the stones, and he went. He found the tree. He climbed to the top, and he sat. And over the hill came the elephants. Huge herd of elephants, until one by one by one, they knelt. Slowly over here. When the sun had gone down and the moon had come up and the stars were out, the boy climbed down, his heart in his throat, terrified. Huge beasts. He crawled amongst them, found the second largest. That's when he tripped. That's when he stood on an elephant's ear. And that's when they all woke up. And he just started to run. He ran with that great heavy elephant drum on his back. And the elephants. He took the stone out of his pocket. He threw it over his shoulder and he shouted, Maurizio is greater than all the elephants. It flew through the air. It landed in front of the elephants. Woof! A huge forest. The elephants stopped. The king of the elephants looked at the thick trees and said, rip them out from their roots. And so the elephants, they wrapped their trunks around the trunks of the trees and pulled. When the forest was gone, they began to run. The boy was tired, he was hot. He took a stone, threw it over his shoulder and shouted. When the stone landed, it was not a forest, it was a river. Thick, deep, wide. The king of the elephants looked at it and said, drink it dry. And so the elephants stuck their trunks in and they drank every last drop. And then they ran. Very fast. Prince was getting very scared. He threw a stone over his shoulder and he shouted. The stone landed not a forest, not a river, but an ocean. Thick, deep, wide. King of the elephants looked at all his elephants. Drink it dry. And they started to drink, not knowing the difference between the river and the sea. And the salt, as it passed into their bodies, turned all the elephants to stone. Prince ran home. He got there. His father, the king, was in the middle of a party. And he ran in. He said, Dad, everything's all right. I got the elephant drum for your funeral. My funeral? Oh, yeah, that. Listen, I'm feeling much better. Probably not going to die anytime soon, so just stick that in the shed. The poor prince got to the shed and was asleep on top of the drum immediately. As he slept, he dreamt. As he dreamt, he heard a very familiar sound. He opened his eyes. He could still hear it. He looked out the door of the shed. There was one last elephant, the king of the elephants, charging down towards him, reaching out for him. Boy only had 1 second to think what to do. He put his hand into his pocket, reached for the fourth stone. Ah! The stone hit the king of the elephants in his eye and he exploded into 1,000 pieces. I know. Elephant drum exploded into 1,000 pieces. Every piece of the drum became a little drum. Every piece of the elephant became a little drummer. Every drummer picked up a drum and they began to beat out this rhythm. As they beat the rhythm, all the color came into the world. All the music into the wind, into the waves. You take your hand, put it over your heart. You'll feel the rhythm inside you to this day.